Yeah, good morning. It's good to be here, Dave in the AM, the Cornbread Man, on your Monday, May the 4th. Just 2 days from my birthday. Not long, getting a little older. Life is changing, obviously, in my life. If you know what's been going on in my life the last week, just slightly over a week now. And it's good to be here. It's good to be up and about. I had a good Sunday, a little tough in some ways, but it was a really good day. Had a good day being back in church. I just haven't been able to go due to the care of my wife. We just could not make it. But back in, enjoyed the messages. And next week, this coming week, Mother's Day, get out and honor your moms, their memory, or if they're alive, certainly get there and make sure that you're honoring your mom. That's always good things because every day is a gift. Amen. All right. Well, got lots going on. I want to kick off. I always start with the scripture, and I want to make sure that we do that first. And I love the pictures with these. They just kind of add to the picture. I love the scripture. I love it. Choose you this day whom you will serve. This is one of my favorite places in the Bible. Is in Joshua. And I love these verses. Choose you this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. It's part of a larger discourse that he was giving there to some people who, they were kind of a split and tribe, and they didn't want to. Some of them didn't want to go along with the flow. So he said, make you the choice. You go serve the God of your fathers or those others, and everybody has to make that choice for themselves and choose you the right way. Amen. I love that. I remember preaching the first chapter of Joshua, first chapter of Joshua, to be of a good courage. I can remember that some of my family not even with us anymore. I remember going to the church and on a Sunday night, my voice was a wreck. I kind of stripped my voice out that morning and that night and got through the best I could. But I really have a great memory of that. Enjoy being there, and I think most of those family members are deceased now, and those are precious memories when you get to go do something like that. All right, moving along, our national day today. Today is May Day, obviously. Think of May Day for help, but it's, Happy May Day. School Principal Day. I suppose the kiddos be bringing in gifts or something or recognizing their principal. Hey, if you got a good one, especially if you got a good one, recognize them. That's a hard job. Can you imagine being a principal? I mean, there's no easy days if you're a principal because you've got kids to deal with. You got teachers that maybe there's something going on with the teacher, maybe they're not in a good way. You got parents to deal with. You got officials above you. You got state officials. I mean, it's just constant, and that's I would say that ages you pretty quick to be a principal. Bless them. National Space Day today. National Space Day. School Lunch Hero Day. School Lunch Hero Day. That's cool. Hey, I want to say there was a lady that used to, I think, work in the cafeteria, if I remember right, or she may still work in the cafeteria at the elementary school. Came out to the funeral home, and I really appreciate that. It was such a crowd, and I need to get down there before the end of the school year. One of the youngest ones goes there and go and eat breakfast with her and just thank her and bring her a gift or something. She was a real blessing. National Mother Goose Day. Now, and let's see a couple of more here. I think I can get into this one. National Chocolate Parfait Day. I could deal with that. That's pretty nice. That would be great. National Loyalty Day. Well, we should have loyalty every day. I guess we'll have loyalty today. Silver Star Service Banner Day. Law Day. There's not a lot of national days today. And it's National Investing Day. If you're going to do any investing, get with Biscuit Boy, Paul LeBron, here at the old Radio Ranch, as I used to say, and him and his company can help you so very much. Good morning, Daryl. God bless you, brother. I was thinking about you, believe it or not, walking in the studio. It was one, I was thinking about how you were doing. Two, I wanted to say thank you for coming to the funeral home. It was a madhouse, and I didn't get to speak to anybody real long, any one person. But certainly there were people I didn't get to talk to hardly at all with everybody that was coming up at the same time. And that's a good problem to have. I'm not complaining, but I want to say to you, I appreciate you coming. And I've got a shirt or two in the studio for you, and we need to when you feel like it. I know you've been not feeling well. But when you get a chance, come by studio. You don't have to go online; just come by studio, and we'll get you hooked up on a shirt or two from the racing boys, Terry Calhoun Racing down there in Toccoa, and Scooter Bangs over in Hollywood, Alabama. They were nice enough to send us some shirts here, and we appreciate the blessing that they have been to us, and we've certainly tried to be that to them. I think they're probably more so to us than we to them, but we're trying. We're trying. But hope you're doing well this morning, brother. Hope you had a great weekend. I sat back and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I sat back and uh, I just got preached out, and I've decided because my good old Stan did such a great job at the chapel service there for my wife, a funeral service. He preached this Sunday, and he said, "Do you want me to preach next Sunday?" I said, "I'll let you know." And then I didn't even realize it was Mother's Day. And I'm like, yeah, he's. I told him last night after church, I was like, yeah, I can do, be in season, out of season. But I said, you know what? I really think I want you to do it. He said, I thought you might say so. Because, well, one, we're having a breakfast and all, but I'm hoping one of my sons can make it. And it's going to be, it's difficult. My wife just passed, and I want to be there and sit with him and everything. And so I think he's going to preach. And so love you too, man. The crew loves you. By the way, I went back to church. We were watching the race. Shout out to Chase Elliott, the chaser here at the old studio. He with the racing, he loves Chase Elliott, and I didn't get to see the end of the race, but I went back and looked, and shout out to him on a great race. And then Dusty and Desi, she was just back from Florida, checking in from dirt track there in West Virginia. I was enjoying that. I appreciate them coming in live and giving us a little sights and sounds of dirt tracks. We're going to start doing more of that in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to go up to I-75 on a Friday night. I got to check their schedule and make sure we're going to do some of that from I-75. If you want to take a little ride there, you feel like it, welcome to ride with us. I'm sure Biscuit Boy will go along. And if he's off, Chaser will probably go along. Maybe Marine, too. We might have a whole crew go out there. And also shout out to Danielle Lohner. I appreciate her shout out over the weekend. She was our very first interview with the Dirt Report. And she got out and got her season started and gave us a shout out. And I appreciate her so very much here locally in the Ringo, Georgia area. And she's just now getting out. We're going to go watch her, too. I don't know if she does any Friday night racing. Right now, I've been working on Saturday, so. But anyway, a little bit about that. But it's good to hear from you, man. God bless you. A little bit of history here. Interesting facts. On this date in 1928, Amelia Earhart became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. That's pretty neat. I mean, nobody's done it before you. As far as gender, they did, but for females, they didn't. But to be the first at something like that, and even if you were the second or third, you don't know what you're going to run into sometimes. They were still figuring all these things out. Pretty amazing. Of course, it didn't end up well for her later on, but around the world thing. But she was a trailblazer. That'd been a great interview. Amelia Earhart had been a great interview. In 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Unless you're part of those that don't believe we ever went to the moon, I'll stand with it. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first men to walk on the moon. In 1943, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt became the first U.S. president to travel overseas by airplane during World War II. I'm sure that was a nervous staff as he was doing that. Not in good health, and of course, did not get to finish things there. Hey, thank you, brother. Hey, I appreciate that very much, man. It's I won't lie, man. People ask you a lot, and I appreciate it because nobody knows what to say. And my kids even, they'll say, "How are you doing?" And I know what they mean by that. My answer is I don't really know. It's really a range. I don't know in lots of ways. Not to not to stay on that topic, but just being honest, that's my life. I don't know how I am from moment to moment because it changes, I mean, it really does change. Yesterday was hard, First time going up that mountain after, losing my wife. That's pretty tough. I was in kind of a funk all day. I'll just be honest. It really helped to get online and do the last night after church. I was going to come back on. I wasn't really in a good place. I'm saying it was a bad place. I just wasn't in a place to do shows. And I just wanted to rest. I was really tired. I was worn out. I don't know, just carrying a lot of stuff, I guess. I don't know. In 1953, Yugoslavia elected its first president, Marshal Josip Broz Tito. So there's some interesting facts for today on this date. Of course, there's much more. Let's see if anything else jumps out. In 1871 on this date, the first baseball league game in a National Association of Baseball Players, Fort Wayne defeated Cleveland 2-0. Deacon Jim White gets the first hit, a double. 1878, Thomas Edison's phonograph is shown for the first time at the Grand Opera House in New York City. Well, that changed things. How many people have used their music on that over the years? Certainly not like the first one, though. Pretty interesting, though. I would love to have the inventor spirit. It's like I've met people, and some people just said they have idea after idea after idea. I mean, they're inventors. I don't think I've invented anything. I certainly don't. Not, every time I think I have an idea, somebody's already done it anyway. In 1893, cowboy Bill Pickett invents bulldogging, the skill of grabbing cattle by the horns and wrestling them to the ground. I wonder if Biscuit Boy's done that. He's been in rodeos, had all the experience with horses and cattle and all that. He's rode the bull out. I wonder if he ever did the bulldogging. I didn't know that's what it was called, to be honest. That's how ignorant I am of such things. In 1896, the first edition of the London Daily Mail. It cost a half a penny. I didn't know there was such a thing as a half penny. How do they give you your change back? Chink. Here's yours. Did they have a half penny back then? Maybe in their monetary system. I don't know. 1927, first balloon flight over 40,000 feet takes place in Scottsdale, Illinois. Let's see here. Let's skip down a little bit because there's tons of these. Let me see if something stands out. Let's see. I don't care about that. We'll let that be it. Let's go to news. In the news today, former mayor, he's stable now, but late last night I saw this. I was, hey, good morning, Jerry Barrett. Rudolph Giuliani was in critical condition last night. He was taken to the emergency room and was being treated in intensive care. Later was placed on a ventilator and experiencing severe respiratory distress, according to a source close to the mayor. His condition is said to be stable. Now, he's not a young'un anymore. I mean, let's see, how old is he? I don't know if they list it here. He's been out there for a bit, but y'all pray for him. They say he is in a critical but stable condition, which means you can go either way. Right now he needs extra care. Let's see here. His spokesman said Mayor Giuliani is a fighter who has faced every challenge in his life and with unwavering strength, and he's fighting with that same level of strength as we speak. We do ask that you join us in prayer for America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani. I think I said Rudolph. I think it's short for Rudy anyway. They say his complications may be linked to chronic lung issues and are believed to stem from exposure during the aftermath of September 11th. So, yeah, they were all out there, and all that stuff was up in the air. Good morning, Jerry Barrett. God bless you, and you. I hope you had a great church service yesterday, and I appreciate those prayers. Amen to that, brother. I was just saying, I don't know how I feel or what to feel. It runs a range, man. I'm just trying to live each moment, man. Move forward. But I appreciate the prayers. Good morning, Miss Cindy. Have a blessed day. I am planning on it. We'll be in shortly. Daryl, have RCA. Oh, really? In mint condition. It also has 5 catalogs of the old vintage records. How about that? The Victrola. Awesome, man. Biscuit Boy doesn't look like he's big enough to bulldog. he would wind up being the little piece of meat on the bull. Well, we'll ask him about that. We had a discussion Saturday on Southern Talk, I think it was. We talked about his rodeo days and him working with horses. He was telling me how you break a horse. That whole part about turning your back to the horse and the horse walks up to you and puts his head on your shoulder or something. I don't know if I can do that. I don't think I could break. I think that's scarier than getting on the horse because I just don't like to be bit. And he admitted that he had been bit a few times from a horse. And I just don't know if I could handle the horse walking up behind me not looking at him like that. He goes, that's, you got to build trust. That's a little too much on the trust level for me. Like I'm not letting the horse walk up by. I'm not walking behind the horse either. I'm not letting the horse walk by me, and I'm not letting him walk up, or he or she walk up behind me and potentially bite me on the shoulder. When I feed animals, some people just, I get it. I don't know. I fed the little dog. I fed different animals, goats and different things. Some people just do that out of their hand. I have a hard time with that, because animals and people will bite you. Sometimes they don't even mean to, but they will bite. I don't like to be bit. I was trying to help Lynn one day. It was in the last few weeks, and I think my sister, she had the same thing. It was something she got in her mouth. Maybe she just needed to get it out, and I would go to get it out. And it's like, I think it was an involuntary thing. Like her teeth were going down. I'm like, don't bite me. I don't like to be bit. But yeah, I don't know. He said he's a big guy in a not a huge body. He's not 6'4", 220, but he yeah, the Kentucky Derby. What about that horse coming from the back? I saw the overview of it, and I can't remember the name now, Golden something, whatever. And I didn't get to see it live, but I went back and watched the highlights. But what I liked was that run from the back to the front. It was like a NASCAR move. Like, dude, he come up on the inside of a couple, and then he went to the outside, and he just smoked them. It was a pretty good run, man. Pretty good run. That's a big, big event. I wonder why. I know that they show some other ones, but I've always wondered why the others never get even close to rivaling the Kentucky Derby. Right? How come it became the premier race? I've just wondered about that. And again, I'm horse racing ignorant. I'll admit it. I've never really, I've always, checked it. I've watched it many, many times. I go back to the days, I'm an old guy, so I remember Secretariat really well and some of the others, and, watching the creme de la creme up there with their bets on and their little, fancy hats and, whatever they're doing up there. The rich elites there with bets on the line. But why did the other races, some of them are fairly big, but nothing, nowhere close rivaling the Kentucky Derby in my mind as far as a TV sporting event. And I guess, is it the age of it? Is it, how come that became the event? I just wonder. You would think that some of these big, Yankee states wouldn't have let Kentucky get that. They would be like, there are different races all around the country. But that became the one. And it's, there's an old, what was it, MASH? They were going to listen to the Derby on the radio, and they were celebrating, and Potter's mad because I think it was at the one where somebody was bad mouthing him or something, and it was one of those, and he gets on to them because they're not doing what they should be doing, and blah blah blah. It was a good episode, but they're all in their Derby, getting ready for the Derby, worldwide. But yeah, pray for Giuliani. Always good. The president is talking about these the Freedom Escorts guiding neutral ships out of the Strait of Hormuz. It is said that in Iran they are at the point of calamity, is the word being used. I guess fiscally, they're almost at the very point of breaking. I've heard that they are, instead of shutting those wells down because they'll collapse and be hard to get them going again, very expensive. They've been pouring oil into ditches and burning it. I've heard nothing from the EPA, Jerry Barrett, I'm just ignorant, period. But the hats are supposed to be fancy, but to me, they're just ugly. I'm not a big. I gotta admit, I'm not big on the hat thing. I just never was around people that did for women. I don't mind the old ball cap. That's a country girl thing. I like that, but even a little cowboy hat or something. But I'm not big on fancy hat. You know, they have these big hats and they look like they're about 3 feet around on each side. I've never was into that. So it's good to block the sun though, and everything else. I mean, those are some big hats. But yeah, that's a big deal for the hats when they go to the Derby. And Daryl says the Kentucky Derby is popular due to its status as the longest running continuously held sporting event in the U.S. since 1875. All right. Combined with rich traditions like Run for the Roses, extravagant hats. Yeah, we mentioned that. Mint juleps. Yeah, we can't forget that. Often called, quote, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, end quote. It is a premier cultural, fashion, and social event that attracts widespread media coverage and high profile celebrities, functioning as much as a high society party as a horse race. I have to say, I've often thought when you look up in that crowd and you look at some of those people, there are people up there that could care less. They could care less about the horses and the racing or whatever. It looks like they're there for the event. They've probably laid them a good bet down. You know, they want to have some fun, or their husband said, "Hey, we're going to lay 100,000 on whatever." And they're like, "Whatever, let's just have some fun." It does look like it's a social event. They're up there talking about functions and which next party they're going to. It does have that feel about it. I wonder at the Derby. I mean, that's a big attended event. Is there like a section like for the rich and elite, like in the commoners are like down? I mean, not that it's cheap for anybody, but like, is there like the Titanic, like the commoner section? You got to go to the basement and they lock the doors where you can't come up, because you got to think there's no, me and Jerry are not going to be invited up there in that one level. No offense, Jerry. I just think they're not going to let us come up there and sip things and eat little fancy finger foods or whatever while the race is getting ready. I just think there's some areas, Jerry, we're not welcome. But Daryl too. We're the trifecta there. They're not going to let us up into the area right up there, where the rich and elite are. They're going to say, sorry, no entrance. I just say I'm with Jerry. They'll open the door. Thanks for that, though. I wondered. I didn't know it was continuously ran since, what was that, 1875? Wow. That's been a fur piece ago. A fur piece. Interesting, though. Be it the first one, Wonder what that was like versus now. I can imagine. That's a big deal. Well, I want to tell you, though, I love the Kentucky bluegrass. That's a beautiful state. And I love the horses. I love horses. I just never been around them that much. When I study war, older war, I love the cavalry. I love just that ability of the cavalry to get in and out quickly, and they can dismount and fight from the ground as well. That was very effective, and the South was really good at it. In the end, we just ran out of people. It was getting too low, but. And the Union got better, but I think the Southern boys had them maxed beat out for a long time. They were just so good at that. President Trump is floating impeachment for Democrat leader Jeffries. Things are heating up politically after the Democrat criticized the U.S. Supreme Court. Is that the catchphrase of our day? Pardon me. Impeachment. That's what we hear about so much on both sides. In a post on Truth Social, Trump took aim at Jeffries for calling the high court illegitimate following its decision in the Louisiana redistricting case, which is big. There was a local politician from Whitfield County who sent a letter to the governor of Georgia and said, since it's, because Kemp has said he's not going to do anything, he's not going to allow any changes to the districts, but he is challenging him on that and telling him, listen, this has been used to hurt. And he used the 14th district as an example. Of course, we know that Clay Fuller was elected in for the rest of the term of Marjorie Taylor Greene. They'll have to run again. But you get into the southern part of that district, they've got parts of Cobb County up in there, and that is way different than the rest of the district, And so Alabama's looking at changing. I think South Carolina, there's a number of states that are looking to because of the way they were forced to carve up some of those districts. And so, but anyway, he says he's going to, he calls him a low IQ individual and said our Supreme Court is, for saying our Supreme Court is illegitimate. After saying such a thing, isn't he subject to impeachment? I don't think you're getting any traction there, Mr. President, but he said, I got impeached for a perfect phone call. Where are you Republicans? Why not get it started? Let's get this party started. He added, they'll be doing this to me. Jeffries issued a statement last week condemning the Supreme Court's ruling, which involved congressional district maps in Louisiana and their compliance with the Voting Rights Act. He argued the decision strikes a blow to the landmark civil rights law and could impact the ability of minority communities to elect candidates of their choice. Today's decision by this illegitimate Supreme Court majority is designed to undermine the ability of communities of color all across this country. Jeffrey said, calling the outcome unacceptable but not unexpected. And so anyway, well, they've made the ruling, and there's rulings that we like and there's rulings that we don't like, and it happens. So yeah. Jerry Barrett says, I saw a woman at a rodeo wearing a really large brimmed hat, and I thought it looked stupid until I saw her take it off. She was so ugly that I was glad she put it back on. Jerry. Oh, my gosh. For the 26th Kentucky Derby, ticket prices range from approximately $132 to over $400,000 for high-end luxury suites. Yeah, they're not letting me and Jerry and Daryl in that one. General admission tickets for the infield start around 132 to 160, which ain't bad, really. I mean, I know it's just 2 minutes, but you pay more than that going to concert nowadays. While reserved grandstand sitting generally starts at over $900. My problem with sampling finger foods is I don't know when sampling turns into picking. It's like, should I grab? You know, the guy comes around the little tray and you like, yeah, thanks. And you're like, getting a few more, you know. It's like the guy looks at you, you're like, hey, I'm hungry, you know. I love watching dinners, you know, church dinner, work dinners, it doesn't matter. Pardon me. This there's always the people that rush to the front of the line, you know. It's like a race. They're like They're meandering around waiting for them to say, okay, we're ready. And they just flock to the front because their whole idea is, well, get in there first, but then pig out quickly and then go back for seconds. And it's funny to watch people like that. You know, it's really fascinating, really, to watch that. I tend to want to go last or very near the end. I just don't care. You know, it's like, whatever, I don't care. And I remember sometimes at churches they say, Pastor, you go first. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go first. I'm a servant. Let's put the kids up there and then let's get the ladies and, you know, do whatever. I remember somebody told me in a Boy Scout trip, there was the scout leader was mad because they suggested that the young men go first. And they're like, no, we go first. We're the adults. People get mad at that, you know? So I don't think Jefferson is going anywhere, but it's interesting that the president called for that. Let's see here. Of course, the Sprint Airlines shut down over the weekend. That's, I guess, will boost others, but a lot of people are going to be stuck. You know, and, you know, they say that this goes back to the Biden administration. You know, they didn't allow the Sprint Airlines and what's the other airline? The cheaper one. They were going to merge and they didn't let them. I got to admit, man, that's true. Oh, that's true, man. Oh, it's hard to say, but it's true. So very true. Oh man, it is interesting to watch. You know, if you're a people watcher and you watch people what they do, it is fascinating to watch how people act about. Hey, Watchman, good morning to you, brother. It's fascinating to watch how people do. You know, they Jerry said, I believe Jeffrey's race card is. Jerry is on a roll this morning. He rolled out of the bed. He must have already had 3 pots of coffee. I mean, he is rolled out. He is ready to go. He's like Matt Dillon in the streets of Dodge City. He is ready. Step him up to the plate. Anybody wants to try me, I'm ready to go this morning. I love it. It's like, line them up, you outlaws. I'm gonna lay it down today. I love you, man. Oh my gosh. Oh, Pastor Barrett, locked and loaded, aka Matt Dillon. So yeah, uh, in Oklahoma City, at a lake near Oklahoma City, 12 people are sent to hospitals. You know, it was just that Sunday night party. Just had that Sunday night lake party. Um, they had reports of shots being fired at 9 p.m. Well, that's about time they're all loaded up. You'd think on Sunday night they would be kind of, been a weekend party or whatever. Maybe they're kind of easing. I got to go to work Monday. I think I, kind of back off. No, it was a bunch of young people at Arcadia Lake. No arrests have been made, but they were, I guess they were trying to play Matt Dillon. They said 10 people were taken to the hospitals. Others drove themselves. They come in flying, bleeding in various conditions. 9 people at one hospital. 3 were at another hospital, and they were all being assessed. Arcadia Lake is about 13 miles north of Oklahoma City. I've been to Oklahoma City several times. I don't think I've been to Arcadia. I wish I'd have visited. Maybe not. It's an artificial reservoir used for flood control. There's also a popular recreational spot that offers fishing, boating, picnicking, and camping, and I guess gunplay. It's located in Edmond, an Oklahoma City suburb with about 100,000 residents. 40 years ago, Edmond was the site of one of the deadliest workplace shootings in U.S. history. On August 20th, 1986, postal worker Patrick Sherrill shot 20 co-workers, killing 14 of them. Then he killed himself. I don't remember that particular story. I probably do. I probably knew it and have forgotten it. You forget so much. He's cracking me up too, dude. Here he goes again. I'm sold. I remember when adults ate first at family reunions and then the kids got to eat whatever was left. You kids, back of the line. We'll save you a bone or two. There's always you got my mind racing right now at the church dinner. I mean, we could do a whole show just about church dinners. There's always that person who makes something that everybody likes, or it's seemingly everybody likes. But here's the catch: they never make enough of it. So there's always that race by people that want to eat Miss So and So's whatever it is, fried chicken. I don't care what it is, but it's like it's like a game they play. It's like they bring enough for maybe half the crowd. And so you'll always hear those people say, "Oh, I wanted some of Miss Johnson's fried chicken, and it's already all gone." It's like there's there's enough food there to feed Sherman's army. But that one thing is gone. It's like it's root for them. Like, well, I wanted to eat some of that chicken. I mean, that's what I came for. That's what I really wanted. And it's almost like they sulk, And I'm thinking of all the other people that brought food. They're like downplaying it. Like, I guess I'll just have to eat some other stuff that's here. It's like, really? People gave of their time and money and effort and all that to make all this food, and you're going to whine about that? I mean, come on. Oh, when I grew up, we were so poor we could go to KFC and lick. You're killing me, man. The images you are throwing in my mind this morning. It feels good to laugh. You're killing me, man. That's why they said finger looking good. Oh my gosh. You're on a roll, man. You're on a roll. Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, hello, Defund Media. But yeah, and I remember one church dinner we had one time, and I won't name the pastor because he happens to listen to this. I saw him at the funeral home. Bless his heart. He doesn't. I don't think he listens, but probably a good thing. We were having this church dinner once. I mean, I say once. We had them all the time, but we had this church dinner going on, and somebody forgot to get something out of the fridge. Like somebody just forgot their dish, and it just got looked over. And so when everybody was putting the food out, some people had put cold stuff in the refrigerator, obviously, and they were laying all this food out. There's people are well into their eating. There's a little there's small talk going on. There's some laughter and people are eating. I think people even starting to come around and get seconds. That first crowd that goes through, and then my pastor makes this big announcement. He goes, "Hey, everybody, stop eating! It's not a good sign. If any of y'all got the potato salad out of this dish, throw it away." What happened was somebody left it in there and it got put out. And my sister, bless her heart, the one that's in from Nevada, she said, "Oh, I done ate some of that. I thought it tasted a little funky." I was like, "My God, don't get food poisoning here." She was okay, but she said I was already decided not to eat any more of it because I took one bite and it was like, no, it didn't taste right, and so she just scurried it off into the garbage. My pastor was so embarrassed. He's like, "I can't believe it." Because the pastor gets blamed for anything anyway. It's like, I can't believe nobody got mad, or we don't think they did. It's like, then how do you go back to eating? It's like, okay, I didn't have that, but you're thinking, what? Oh, but church dinners you could do a documentary on church dinners and just have a ball with it. They're wonderful. They're a blessing, and then there's always some kid that gets into argument, little Johnny and little Davy or whoever, they Daryl, I preached one Sunday on Tater Family: dictators, agitators, commentators, and spectators. Hey, I like it, man. I like it. There's nothing like eating fried chitterlings and finding some girl corn Oh, and I know Jerry's church, they have dinners all the time too. He's a veteran of these things. He knows. And I was thinking about this about my wife. I was thinking about, I don't know, we went, I popped in my head because we've got, Mother's Day, we're going to have a breakfast. And I was remembering how my wife, she would take everything home that nobody wanted. I was like, we go to a dinner and we bring home more than we brought. And I'm the pack mule that brings all this out to the car. And I'm like, and so we'd make the drive around and we're feeding people like, well, let's go see our sons. Let's go. He's on the job. We'll feed his coworkers. And so I knew after a dinner, I was always going to do this. And my wife would, and they knew that. And people, I found this to be true. A lot of people like cooking and bringing it. They don't want to take nothing home. They just want to clean the dish and go back. They don't want no leftovers. And my wife would, and I would be always like, really? I mean, some people, there would be a lot left over, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, the whole back of the car would be covered in dishes that we had to make sure we got, cleaned and brought back. Bless her heart, she had a big heart, but she would go feed all these people, and and I didn't count the sweets. That's just the regular food. And she'd have a whole bunch of sweet plates with a tin full over them, and we would do a lot of that. Yeah, it is good. That's what we do. We steal them things. I like that. I agree, Jerry. I bet you could do a good job with that sermon too. I was at Bible school, and there was another preacher there, and he was older than me, and we were at Bible school, and the guy that was teaching, he's well, you know him, Jerry. I mean, Dr. Kershey, and we were down at Cartersville, and we were was it Cartersville, Daresville, wherever it's at, Cartersville, ain't it? Anyway, that's the school, and we're going. He was teaching on this one thing, and he was basically giving a really good sermon outline, and we're both over there taking notes. I don't know if we're learning anything, but we're taking notes, and we got done. I think the preacher's name was John. You would probably know him, and he said, Dr. Kersey, do you mind if I use that? Kersey, I don't care. I use it. He goes, he said, I steal all the time too. He said, well, that's good stuff. I'm going to preach this Sunday, you know. Hey, a good sermon's a good sermon, you know. Do what you got to do. Oh man, the wonderful, legendary Dr. Kersey. He he I'll never forget his story about being in Vietnam. And by the way, I met this older African American gentleman the other. He was coming out of the store, and he was very elderly, you know, because our Vietnam vets are getting elderly, you know. And he come out, had a Vietnam hat on. I thanked him for his service. He gave me the fist bump. He said, "Hey, thank you." And he said he told me the years he was there. He was there in like 66, 67, and he was telling me what he did. And he eventually got into the I guess in the engineering group or whatever. And he said, so I learned to read blueprints. And so when he got out of the military, he became, you know, he said, I built my own house. He said, he named all the stuff he was doing. And he said, because I could read blueprints, you know, and that's a good skill to have. And he, it kind of set his course for his life. So for him, you know, I know he hated being there, but when he come out, he was ready made to, you know, start a family and get it done. So pretty cool, but God bless. But anyway, Dr. Kersey standing in the middle of Vietnam, not saved. He get saved years later, but he knew he was. I mean, people are dying every day, you know. And they flew this chaplain in. I forget what faith he was, and he's, you know, praying over them, blessing them, and all that. And he said, "Hey, I need help here." He said, "Man, I feel, you know, I think I'm not going to make it. Like, I need to know how to get to heaven." And he said, the guy said, I can't help you. And they said he was scared. He was ready to get out of there himself. They loaded him up in the helicopter and got him out of there. And he said a soldier walked up and handed him a New Testament. He said, this is what you need right here. So he did start reading there, but it was after Vietnam that he got saved. Jerry says, yesterday I preached from Galatians 1 through 10, a sermon titled The Apostle Paul, who wasn't afraid to face a problem head on. Well, true. Amen. Amen to that. And we do run from them a lot of times. I mean, sometimes we just run from problems when we should be in there fighting the good fight. We run from it, and he certainly did that. I really enjoyed yesterday's services. It's good to sit back, get some preaching. And Daryl says, I preached that sermon at a church that had 10 pastors in 15 years. God help. Wow. Well, no wonder you preached that sermon. I imagine you had a few people up there with their arms folded up, giving you the dirty look while you were preaching. Probably a handful of them are deacons. Who do you think you are? I've told this, but I won't go through the whole story. But a guy I know, he's in heaven now. He was a young guy right out of seminary, and he preached. He got a good sized church. He's a young guy, but he was trying to just shake things up, and he preached a sermon. He told the church. He said, I would never do it again. He told me. He said, with a twinkle in his eye, he said, I'm glad I did it, but he said I probably shouldn't have. But he said I would never do it again because it caused so much just things in the church. But he basically ran his like, in 3 weeks we're going to run a family out of the church. It's no good. They're holding the church back. We can't move forward. We're getting rid of them. And he said we're going to have a mock funeral service for them as we kick this family of no-gooders out of the church. And it was kind of the same thing. It was the family of what were they? Ness, the last name Ness, worthlessness, you know. And he had names for like father, mother, children. And he was living in the parsonage, and he starts building out of wood. He starts building a casket with handles and all. And the deacons were coming by and telling him, you don't need to do this. You're crazy if you do it. We're going to run you out of here. You know, you're getting people upset. But when he started the sermon, he said the whole church, he said, tension. And everybody's wondering, is it us? What family is he kicking out of here? And then when they said he said it was like everybody just exhale, like, oh, oh, the story of my life. That's a rough one, man. That's a rough one. Reminds me of some preachers from our area, Daryl, that went up in the Appalachians and they were preaching against drinking. The only problem was about half, or maybe 3/4 of all the people in the church were shiners. They ran them off that mountain at the end of a gun. Get out of here and don't come back. How dare you come up here and preach against our moonshine? Daryl, that may have been the church. They didn't realize how stubborn and hard-headed I am, but I've been there 20 years. It's like after the first couple of years, like we gave him every indicator he needed to leave. I told a church one time, I said, I won't ever leave until God tells me to leave. I said, I'm not doing it. I said, I don't quit. I said, if you're gonna be a pastor, you got to have a lot of thick skin, a lot of fortitude, hard head, whatever you want to call it. But this is I'm not leaving until God says. Now y'all can vote whatever you want to do, but I'm telling you, I'm not leaving until I made that. I didn't do it afterward. The way I worded it, I thought maybe I made some people mad, but I just wanted to know I wasn't a quitter. I didn't walk away. Well, I said shiners, not shiners. I thought about that after I said it. I was like, I hope she doesn't think I said Shriners, but that'd be another group that might. Oh, do they go to church in them hats? Oh, I'll make somebody mad today. Do they put the big hat on and go to church that way? It's like, hey, man, your hat's in my way. I can't see the preacher. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I went to this church once and I got in trouble for tapping my knee with my hand during a song. Truth, man. People in the row in front of me turned around and looked at me and looked at my knee and looked back at me like, what are you doing, man? There are some churches that are so straight-laced. You can't say amen. You can't do nothing, You just got to sit there. Oh, I guess I was always just a little bit Baptist-costal. My little country church, we just, amen, broski, amen. Good morning to you on this Monday. Freemason free zone. I don't know that there was only one guy that I ever remember going to church that I ever saw that had the belt buckle on. I remember that. Although I have went to church with people that said a lot of the men in their family were, but they said I didn't ever want to be a part of that. Left that alone. But the frozen chosen watchman. Yeah. I just never could be that guy. Now I'm not running around the church. Well, I want to say, if God gets a hold of you, I mean, I'm not going to say that, but I'm not a boisterous guy or anything. But you know what? I say make yourself at home and enjoy the worship and shout. And some people, I'm telling you, if you shouted in some churches, two heads in the baptistry. I love it. I remember the first time we were at church. My wife come from a background that was very straight-laced like that. She wasn't saved. She thought she was. I'm not going to name the denomination, but anyway, she was so shy. When we first started going there in the choir, she would come up to the choir. I think it was like peer pressure. Like she wanted to do it, but she was scared. But she would just move her mouth. Nobody could hear her sing. Then later, she just let her belt. But anyway, we were having a singing one day, And this guy, he became a pastor in our area later, well-known singing group up here, and he played bass in the group. And man, he got in the spirit, and he's a good athlete. He like jumped, he dropped that bass, and he like did a jump from the top of the dais there over the altar, and he run a couple of laps around that church, and then went back praising God. And then he finally put his bass on and started playing. I looked back at my wife, and her eyes were about to she had never seen nothing like that in her life. She's like, what just happened? Oh, we had some fun. I had a group of men that wanted to kick me out, so let the church vote on it. After they voted for me to stay, I then asked that group by name if they wanted the church to vote on their membership. Things changed. Oh, the old coup that didn't work. Oh, they had you, Jerry. They thought they had you. We got numbers. I did that. So did they stand up in the middle of a service? Did they say, "I make a motion, we boot old Jerry out of here"? Like, we want to vote on the pastor right now. And somebody said, "Second." Called for a voice vote or a hand vote, and they didn't get their votes. You know what? If you're going to do the coup, you better make sure you got your numbers. Yeah, they they got punked out. Yeah, yes, they did. Hey, you know what? And I will tell you, there's some churches right now. A lot of churches, and it's a serious note, a lot of churches need to review their rules. Because in this day and time, there's a lot of outside influences that come in. They can use your own rules against you. They'll infiltrate, and they can. You got to make sure of that. Because I've known of churches. This is silly to me, silly. There's some churches that can call for that at any moment in a service. And I knew a guy that happened to. And their church had been infiltrated over many months. And they, on a Sunday night when not as many people were there, they made sure they packed the house with their numbers. They called, right after the singing, they called for a voice vote on the spot. Guy made a motion, got a second. They instantaneously voted the pastor out. A lot of people left. They took the church over, and it was planned. It was a planned move. That was up in Tennessee. It was a brand new church. They saw them build this, this great work, built this beautiful new church. And I don't know the name of it. He probably told me. But by the way, Daryl, that guy that told me that, he would drive over to Irwin, where you were at. He drove over there to pastor a little church. I was speaking there on missions. Oh, this has been eons ago. And he told me it's about 50 miles or more from Irwin. And he told me that. The guy that was, I don't know if he was full-time pastor there or fill-in, I think, but he drove 50 miles to pastor there. How wicked some people are. It's easy for me to pack my toothbrush. Amen. But you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to watch and make sure today that you have it, explicit about some things, because they'll come in and use rules again. Now they're attacking churches. They're attacking. They want to get rid of the church. The forces that be. They want to force pastors and churches into bad situations and try to sue them and all kinds of things in relation to marriages. You know what I mean, and other things. And they'll come in, and I've talked to even insurance guys that said churches really need to examine their charters and all that, and just make sure that they've got everything that they need in place, and to get some counsel on that, because there's been a big move across the country for a lot of churches have come under attack. I even had one that asked me to go behind the church with him, so I handed my wife my Bible and coat and walked around back, but he couldn't find the back of the church. Oh boy, man, you've been in some situations there. I'll be back in a minute, honey. We're going to have us a talk behind the church. You know what? I ascribe to the Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson especially Stonewall, view on chaplains and preachers and all that. They didn't want some old guy that was a blowhard to ride around on a horse and just, bellow and holler and preach. They wanted a fighting man. They wanted somebody that could put a gun in their hand and go fight too. They didn't want no sissy. I mean, that's the way they looked at it. We want a fighting man. We don't want somebody coming just running around preaching. They wanted the preaching. They absolutely wanted the preaching, but they wanted somebody that had they had a fight to them. In other words, they weren't just somebody, softy running around. When the fighting got hot, they got out. No, they wanted a guy they could put up the front with their men where the dying was going on and minister and fight if needed. Absolutely. I agree with that. Whip them in the name of the got to get that devil out of them. I mean, that's the only way, right? Oh, it's been a lot of fun this morning. Keep praying for us. Appreciate you. We are going to do our best. May the 4th be with you. Thank you there on Rumble. Amen. Keep praying for us. Hopefully the schedule, this has been a real fight for the last few months. I mean, I tried my very best not to have too much interruption there. In the end, it became almost impossible. And so I appreciate your patience. There's a lot of the right hand of fellowship, Watchman. That's right. It became almost impossible, and we're going to try to get back on schedule. So look for the morning show to be consistent now, and the evening news and sports and all that. We're gonna really plan is. I was talking to my son yesterday. Get back on back in schedule and move forward. We're amping up a little at a time, but the morning show is definitely my intent is to be there unless something crazy is going on. Might even have to dance the time a little bit if I had to go to work early for a meeting or something, but I'll still be on. So at our church, if you haven't been to the church in 12 months, unless you have been sick, you are no longer a member because there is no situation brought before the church unless the deacons not agree to it. It's wise. You got to purge the roles. I remember one time I had a lady called me from another church, and she wanted this young man. She said he's been coming here and he wants to become a member, and he wanted his letter from our church. And I wasn't the pastor there. I was the deacon, and of course, small church, you're doing everything. But I was one of the deacons. But anyway, I went through the records. I went through every record you could ever find for the church. I could not find this guy's name at all anywhere of ever being on the church roll. It's possible that they. That somebody messed it up. But I just think the guy just didn't, maybe he attended once or a few times and he never became a member, but he thought he was. And they just, but I sent her a nice letter and explained the situation and everything, but I couldn't send no letter. I hadn't seen the guy. I'd been there for, oh my goodness, 3 years at that time. I never saw the guy. I went back years. I mean, I think I went back to the whole history. I never could find the guy. So the Yeah Dave shots or something, shorts or something else. I've had some fun with those. I hope they're not too annoying, but we're, just having some fun. And Lord knows I've needed fun in my life. So, well, Biscuit Boy, we're working on getting him in there, and we'll continue to do that. If you don't like it, just delete it. God bless all of you. I'm gonna run a couple of kids to school and go to work. Continue to pray for us. Pray for my sons losing their mom, and it's a lot of dual things going on here. It's not just about me. I've got sons that have lost a mom. I've got grandkids that's lost, their mama or their nanny or whatever. And, and other people that are connected and friends. And, there's a lot of people hurting right now, and it's always tough and to lose anybody. Thank you, Jerry. Like I said, it was the first time it hit me hard. I won't lie. It hit me hard yesterday. I was so glad my granddaughter was with me. And actually, 2 granddaughters went with me yesterday, but it was really hard. It was really hard to go to church. I mean, that's the first time since we started church. I mean, a couple of times I went to a revival that she didn't go, but I mean, like, we're going to our church. That's the first time I remember that she wasn't with me. Thank you, Cook. God bless you. And I do appreciate all the concern and all the reaching out and the support and the prayers. I don't, people ask me, how do you feel? I don't know, really. I don't. It's too new. It's too fresh. It's just, we went into, mode of getting the funeral taken care of and everything. There's so many things I've got to do. I don't even have death certificates back yet, so there's a lot of things I've got to get done. And so you get into this mode. I had a lot of help, and I thank God for the help, because I don't think I could have done it by myself. And just trying to just put one foot in front of the other, finish the mission. Thank you, Ernest. Yeah, I appreciate all the thoughts. I really do. I mean that. You think you're tough until you're not. I don't know that I'm that tough, but I've got a granddaughter that we're raising, and we'll continue the mission there. And Mother's Day right behind it. Oh, it's like, Lord, I wish that had been a little ways off, but that's, you got to walk the walk, and we'll walk through that. And I could feel myself. They always talk about the set stages of grief. I think I experienced every one of them yesterday. I really did. I mean, I went from sadness to emptiness to madness, whatever. And thinking about things that happen, and just having some laughs and stuff. If you're out there on the Facebook, I haven't been putting it anywhere else, but if you're on Facebook, I've been posting daily Life with Lenny posts. I've had some people tell me they really like them and they want me to continue doing them. It's just stories that I figured that nobody knew, because either we didn't talk about them, or just stuff that I remember in my head when nobody else was there but me and her or the kids. And people are getting enjoying them, and it helps friends and family learn more about my wife and things that we did, and they're funny, or they got some sort of point or situation we were in, and having fun with that. So if you see those and you like them, let me know. It's just a quick read. It's not meant to be long. It's you can read it in a minute, less than a minute, and just something to put out there to help people with their grief and stuff, and give them, because I've been contacted by people that she went to school with. I knew just a little bit. Say she's my best friend. People she worked with, she's my best friend. I mean, my friend. You continue hearing that over and over and over again. And she knew so many people. My wife, just big-hearted, big smiles, big hugs, and loved everybody. And it helped me in ministry a lot. I'm gonna tell you, some of them hardcore Baptists, they couldn't be mean to Lynn. I found a couple that could. We bounced that situation. Lord knows, I thought, if you're gonna be mean to her, you're crazy. But she was my front in ministry. We'd do street work or something. I mean, I put her out front because she was, obviously approaching ladies, kids, whatever. But there was a few old veterans and stuff. They couldn't be mean with her standing there. It was great. And, we're going to miss that. You can't replace it. So, yeah, everybody have a blessed day. We're going to get out of here and get these kids on to school. And we appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Southern Patriots Podcast, Wolf Nation Podcast. We'll be back on tonight, unless the world ends. Our plan is to be on, and we'll catch you all then. Be safe out there. Have a blessed day. Tell somebody you love them, because you just never know, right? Salute. See ya.
What a